Section 701. Transaction Value System Method 1. The transaction value shall be price actually paid or payable for the goods when sold for the export to the Philippines, adjusted accordance with the provision of this section, provide that there are no restriction as a disposition use of the good by the buyer other than restriction which are the imposed required by the law of the Philippines by authorized submit the geographical area which the goods may be resolved or do not substantially affect the value of the goods. The sale or price is not subject to some condition of consideration for which value cannot determine with respect to the good being value, and the buyer and the seller are not related. Where the buyer and the seller are related, the transaction value is acceptable for the customer purpose under the provision thereof. For the purpose of this act, person shall be deemed related only if they act officer, director of the one other business, they are legally recognized partner business. This is the existing employee relation between them. Any person directly, indirectly own the control holds 5% or more the standing voting stock or share the seller and buyer. One of them directly or indirectly control the other. Both of them directly or indirectly controlled by a person. Together they directly or indirectly control the third person, or they are member of the same family, including those related by the affinity of consanguine up to the fourth civil degree. Persons who are associated in a business with another in the one of the sole agent, sole distribution, or sole concentration, however described of the other, shall deem to be related to the purpose of this act if they fall within any of the 8 case cite the preceding paragraph. In a sale between related persons, the transaction value shall be accepted as the basis for custom valuation, whether the importer demonstrate the such of value closely appropriate or following occurring at or about the source of time. The transaction value in the sale to unrelated buyer identical the similar goods for export to the same country of import. The custom value identical the similar goods determined under the provision of the section 704 this act of the custom value of identical similar goods determined under the provision of section 705 of this act. In determining the transaction value, following shall be the price actually paid or payable for imported goods, to the extent in the incurred by the buyer but are not included the price actually paid or payable for imported goods. Commission and brokerage fee, excepting buying commission. Cost of container, cost of packing, weather or labor material. Value afforded appropriate of the following goods: the service material component, part of similar item incorporated in the imported good, tools, dice molds, the similar items used in the product imported goods, consumed of the production of the imported goods, of engineering development, artwork, designing, work of plans, the sketches undertaken either self the Philippines of necessary production of the imported goods where such a good service are not supplier directly or indirectly by the buyer, free charges or reduced cost the use to connection with the production of sale for the export of import goods, and amount of royalties and license fees related the goods being valued. The buyer must be entered directly or indirectly as condition of sale of the goods to the buyer. Value of any parts of the proceed of any subsequent resale, disposal, or use the imported goods that accrue directly or indirectly to the seller. Cost of transport of the imported goods from the port of exportation, the port of entry in the Philippines. Loading, unloading, and handling charges associated with the transport of the imported goods from the country of exportation to the port of entry in the Philippines, and cost insurance of the additional to the price actually paid or payable shall be made only on the basis of objective qualified data.